Welcome to History 4th year. This is the unit number 3. That's the Industrial Revolution. Before working, check the words you have on screen and please compare with the words you know. If there are words, English words that you don't know their meaning, please write down on your notebook the translation into Spanish. We are going to study a very long process. It's a process that started in the 18th century and finished at the end of 19th century. It's called a revolution because changes that happened were really deep. The Industrial Revolution started in Britain and is divided into two stages. The First Industrial Revolution and the Second Industrial Revolution. The First Industrial Revolution started around 1760 due to a demographic revolution and an agricultural revolution. Demography depends on two rates. One is the mortality rate and the other one is the natality rate. Before the 18th century, both of them were very high. That means the population grew but slowly, very slowly. High natality rate, but at the same time high mortality rate. Nevertheless, in the late 18th century, mortality rate decreased, and the natality rate, of course, was high. Obvious result of this was population started growing. The death rate decreased due to several reasons. First one was the nutrition improvement. Advances in agriculture increased the production of food, and this better nutrition made people more resistant against illnesses, of course. Second, personal and public hygiene. Street plumbing made the streets cleaner, and there was a better access to clean drinking water. And cotton clothes became more usual because they were easier to wash and the use of soap at the same time widespread. Third reason was the public health. Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine against smallpox, and that was the cause of millions of deaths before, and now these deaths can be prevented. Fourth reason, epidemics. These epidemics became less frequent, as in previous times. This thanks to the nutrition improvement and better hygienic and public health. Then this increase of population meant more demand of food and clothes, and as a consequence that brought an agricultural revolution. This agricultural revolution was at the same time thanks to the improvement in technology. Farming techniques evolved from the 3-field system of crop rotation to the 4-field system, also called the Norfolk system. This one, the 4-field system, eliminated the field that the 3-field system left fallow. The traditional 3-field system meant that the land was divided into 3 fields. One field grew winter cereal, wheat or rye, another one grew beans or lentils, and the third one was left unplanted. That means fallow. The 4-field system, on the other hand, meant that the land was divided into 4 fields. One field grew wheat, another one grew turnips to feed livestock, the third one grew barley to feed people and or animals, and the last one grew clover to feed livestock too. Using this system, the 100% of the land is productive, as opposed to the 3-field system of rotation that left the 30% of the land completely unproductive. There were other factors with influence on this agricultural revolution. One of them was, for example, the end of the feudal system, the common work in the lands of the lord. After the liberal revolutions, do you remember 1820, 1830, 1848, land that previously belonged to the nobility and the clergy became private, and bourgeoisie bought these lands and, of course, put them into production. The livestock quantity increased as a result of the 4-field system that produced fodder, that's food for animals, and the animals produce manure to fertilize the land. I don't have to explain to you what the manure is, right? If you don't know that word, please check in a dictionary. Technology had an influence on the agricultural revolution. For example, the iron plough replaced the wood plough, and later the work was mechanized. Seeders, threshers, harvesters, etc. The 18th century was a period of growth for the agricultural production. English farmers used their savings from the selling of their products to invest in trading activities, invest in industry, or just banking, or sometimes just reinvest in primary sector. In Britain, the economy had an important growing, not only because of the agricultural revolution, but due to other several factors. Markets. Britain had an important international and domestic trade. Its domestic trade benefited from a good infrastructure and lack of tariffs. And the international trade was based on the large colonial empire that provided cheap raw materials. Profits from trade were invested in the new industry. New mentality. British bourgeoisie and nobility were in favor of investing in trading and taking business risks. The parliament issued laws to support trade and business at the same time. Iron and coal. Britain was rich with iron and coal, and both elements were necessary to build and run the factories. The iron was used to build the factories, the machines, and the railway network. And the coal was the source of energy of the steam engine that powered machines, powered trains, and boats.